The Kraft Foods Company presents Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you, partially transcribed, by the Kraft Foods Company. Kraft, makers of the one and only Miracle Whip salad dressing. We say one and only because there just isn't any other salad dressing like Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip is different, and it tastes different. Miracle Whip tastes so good, it's become the most popular salad dressing ever created. More Miracle Whip is sold than the next 20 leading brands of salad dressing combined. Try it. Make your salads better tasting with the one and only Miracle Whip. Well, the great Gildersleeve's niece, Marjorie, and her husband, Bronco, have been in their new house long enough to be pretty well settled. In fact, it's about time to invite their friends in. So this morning, Marjorie is over discussing plans for the housewarming with her uncle.
Unky, can I ask Bertie to help me with refreshments tomorrow evening?
Yes, indeed, my dear.
And I'd like to borrow your blue willow cups and saucers.
Anything you like.
We're short of dishes, and we've invited practically everybody we know.
That's using your head, Marge. More people you get, the bigger the loot.
Oh, Leroy.
Well, I agree with the boy, Marjorie. I'm not mercenary, but I am practical. As a matter of fact, I took the liberty of inviting a few people myself.
To my housewarming? Unky, you didn't.
You inviting people she doesn't even know?
I know them, Leroy. They're old customers of the water department.
Oh.
What do you do if they don't show up with a present? Turn off their water?
Leroy.
Well, the more the merrier.
By the way, Marjorie, since you're having a housewarming, you might give me an idea for a gift to warm it with.
Oh, I don't know, Unky.
Yeah, come on. You can give me a little hint.
Well, if we get a floor lamp, we can return the one we borrowed from you.
Oh, no hurry about that.
And if somebody gives us fireplace fixtures and a coffee table, we can return yours.
Hey, Unc, why don't we throw the house warming? We're the ones who don't have anything.
I'll see you two later.
Goodbye, my dear.
Oh.
Well, Leroy, it's high time I figured out what to take to Marjorie's housewarming.
Yeah. With all the nice things she'll get, my gift will look like nothing.
What are you going to give her?
Nothing.
Leroy, you have to give her something.
Why? I'm a relative. I thought these housewarmings were just to trap friends.
No, everybody who gets invited is trapped. I mean, that is, they're expected to come up with something.
But I can't come up with anything. I've been broke since Father's Day. Had to buy you a gift, and you're only my uncle. What a racket.
Leroy, do I say that when I'm called upon to buy a few gifts?
No. You say, oh!
Come on, Leroy, let's go look for our gifts. Now, Leroy, we're not looking for expensive gifts. I've already done a lot for Marjorie and Bronco, so I'm going to limit my gift to around $15.
I'm going to limit mine to the dime store.
What?
I think I'll give them a goldfish.
A goldfish?
With a bowl, of course.
Leroy, you can't get by with that.
Why not? It's gold. Looks expensive. I'll even put a label on the bowl. Made in Fort Knox.
Yes. Let's go into Peavy's and see what he has.
Hey, look in his window, Unc. A spinning wheel.
Spinning wheel? Don't tell me Peavy's gone in the antique business.
I don't know. Some of his stock is getting pretty old.
Say, that's a spinning wheel made into a lamp.
Yeah, and look at that big jar of beans.
Let's see what the sign says. Guess the number of beans in the jar and win this spinning wheel lamp.
Hey, I could win the lamp and give it to Marge. It wouldn't cost me a cent.
Well, not a bad idea if you're lucky enough. Come on, Leroy. Let's see what Peavy's up to. Hello, Peavy.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you today?
Mr. Peavy, I'd like to guess how many beans you got in the jar.
Very well.
Let me see now. I guess...
Wait just a minute, Leroy. Before you guess, you'll have to buy something.
Peavy, the sign didn't say that.
No, I say that.
Oh, my goodness. What a come-on.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, that's what you call a gimmick. These days, everybody has a gimmick.
Oh?
Business has a gimmick. Politics has a gimmick. Everybody has a gimmick except the taxpayer, and he'd better get one quick. I'm here to tell you.
Peavy, I'll thank you not to talk about taxes.
Yeah, let's talk about beans. I'll take 5 chances, Mr. Peavy.
5 chances? My. What do you want to buy, Leroy?
5 pieces of bubble gum.
Bubble gum.
Yeah, I'll help you out, Leroy. I'll take 5 pieces of bubble gum, too.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you big spenders, but you have to make a minimum purchase of $1.
Oh, brother.
Peavy, the sign in your window doesn't say that.
No, I say that. Now, what would you like to buy that costs at least $1?
I can't buy anything that costs $1.
I'll be glad to put you on the books.
Leroy, it won't be necessary for you to go into debt. I'll help you win the land.
Oh, boy.
Peavy, what can I buy for $1?
Not very much these days. Of course, if you want 100 pieces of bubble gum, I can...
No, thanks. I see a $1 cigar lighter down there in the case. Give me one of those.
Very well.
While you're paying them, I'll write down my guess.
No, wait a minute, Leroy. If I'm going to win the land for you, I should do the guessing.
Oh, for corn's sake.
Now, let's see. Pretty big jar. The beans are small.
Here you are. Here's your lighter, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Just put it on the counter, Peavy. I'm thinking.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, I should guess pretty close, Peavy. Won't be far off. Now, let's see. 11,306.
That's really your guess?
11,307?
Oh, I can't tell you how many are in the jar, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I will tell you that you're several thousand beans off.
I am?
You care to try again?
Sure, buy something else, Aunt.
That's the idea.
Well, what the heck. Give me one of those little alarm clocks.
An alarm clock it is.
Peavy, it was very nice of you to tell me my guess was off a few thousand.
Yeah, it's very nice of you to guess again.
This time, I think I'll guess 8,500. How's that, Peavy?
You're farther off than you were before. Care to buy something else?
You went the wrong way, Aunt. Let me try this time.
Yeah, all right, Leroy. Give me anything that costs $1, Peavy.
Happy to do it. Now, here's a little item I haven't been able to sell.
Oh? I don't know what it is, but I'll take it. What's your guess, Leroy?
Hey, Aunt, I think I figured this thing out. Why guess? Why not figure out the exact number?
Well, that's what I've been trying to do.
All I have to do is get a jar that size and fill it full of beans.
Say!
Mr. Peavy, where can I buy a jar of beans like yours?
Right here, behind the counter. We've had quite a run on bean jars.
What a come on.
Bertie, can you open the door? Okay, I'm coming.
Leroy, what you got there?
I got Marge and Bronco's housewarming present.
A jar of beans?
I gotta pour them out here on the dining room table.
What you doing?
I gotta count them.
You mean she's got to know exactly how many you're giving her?
No, Mr. Peavy's having a contest. Count the beans in the jar and win a lamp.
Oh.
I'm going to give Marge the lamp as soon as I count the beans.
Just look at that.
Yeah. Sure looks like a lot more when they're spread out.
Are you planning to give Miss Margie that lamp at the housewarming tomorrow or next Christmas?
It won't take so long, I guess. I'll count fast. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Counting beans by the thousand. I declare sometimes I don't know what gets into this family.
Brady, will you please open the door?
Come in, Mr. Gildersleeve. I wonder if he's coming home loaded with beans, too.
Have my hands full, Bertie.
Yes, but just look at the packages.
Yeah, just a few little things I picked up at Peavy's.
Yes, sir.
Leroy didn't have much money for a housewarming gift, so I thought I'd help him get the free lamp. See if I brought home everything I bought. Alarm clock, cigar lighter, safety razor.
Mr. Gildersleeve, how much has that free lamp cost you so far?
Well, about $14.
Yes, sir.
Now, Bertie, we can use all these things. Where's Leroy?
He's in the dining room counting a table full of beans.
Oh, what a waste of time counting a jar of beans. You'd never catch me doing a ridiculous thing like that.
No, sir.
Hello, anybody home?
Come in, Marjorie.
Hello, Unky. Bertie.
How are you, Miss Marjorie?
Fine. I brought back the roasting pan I borrowed.
Yes, ma'am.
Been shopping, Unky?
Well, I picked up a few things.
Oh, I saw the most gorgeous lamp in Mr. Peavy's window.
You did?
Uh-huh. It's a replica of an old spinning wheel. I'd just love to have one like it in our living room.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if you got that very lamp.
Really?
As a matter of fact, you can just count on getting that lamp for your housewarming.
Oh, Unky, I could never be that lucky.
Yeah, you never can tell.
Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed. Thanks for the pan, Bertie.
You're welcome.
See you later, Unky.
Goodbye, my dear. Bertie, what do you think of that? The lamp is just what she wants.
She sure likes it.
By George, she's going to have it. How can we miss with Leroy counting the beans? Let's see how he's doing. Leroy!
Yeah?
How you coming with the beans? Up in the thousands yet?
Are you kidding? 198, 190, 199.
Poor Leroy's hardly started.
Oh, my goodness, look at that table full of beans.
Yeah, there must be a million of them.
I wonder if that would be a good guess.
Well, I'm going back to guessing. I'll never get these beans counted.
Leroy, I practically promised Marjorie that lamp. You can't give up now.
The heck I can.
But what are you going to give Marjorie?
Well, what's wrong with giving her that alarm clock you bought at Mr. Peavy's?
You can't do that to your sister, Leroy. That's a cheap clock.
Well, I'm a cheap brother. Better than no clock at all.
Well, they don't have one, do they?
No, and if I give it to them, they won't have to leave their bedroom window open and listen for our clock.
Leroy, counting the beans in this jar is the surest way of winning the lamp.
I'm giving Marge a clock. Anybody silly enough to count a jar full of beans has a hole in his head.
Well, Marjorie has her heart set on that lamp, Bertie.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to sit down and count these beans. Give me my hat.
You have to wear a hat for that?
I don't want anybody to see the hole in my head.
The great Gildersleeve will be back in just a minute. One of the very best ways to perk up wilted appetites these warm days is to serve a cool, tempting beauty of a salad. And whether it's a shimmering gelatin mold filled with luscious fruit or a platter of crispy, colorful vegetables, make sure that salad tastes as good as it looks. How? Simply by serving the finest tasting salad dressing you can buy, Miracle Whip salad dressing. It's delicious, really delicious, with a flavor that's lively and teasing, just sharp enough. And it's a flavor you won't find in any other salad dressing, because Miracle Whip is a different kind of salad dressing. It's made from a recipe known only to Kraft, and it combines the best qualities of old-fashioned boiled dressing and fine mayonnaise. And Miracle Whip is blended carefully a special Kraft way to give this salad dressing perfect satin smoothness. Try it. See for yourself why Miracle Whip is such an outstanding favorite. See why it's become the most popular salad dressing ever created. Actually, it outsells the next 20 leading brands of salad dressing combined. You'll be amazed at how much better your salads taste when you make them with smooth, delicious Miracle Whip. Get a jar from your grocer first thing tomorrow. But remember, there's only one Miracle Whip salad dressing, so be sure you see the name on the jar you buy. Miracle Whip, made by Kraft. When the great Gildersleeve learned that his niece Marjorie admired a certain lamp she'd seen at Peavy's pharmacy, he practically promised she would get it as a housewarming gift. But getting the lamp isn't as simple as you'd think.
Peavy and his darn contest. Yeah, I wonder just how many beans this jar will hold. Must be an easier way to find out than counting them one by one. They all seem to be about the same size.
How many have you counted, Miss Gildersleeve?
None, Bertie. I'm not fool enough to count all these beans.
No, sir.
If I'm smart enough to be the city water commissioner, I'm smart enough to figure this out without working.
Yes, sir.
The way to win this contest is to figure it out mathematically. Let's see if I can get any help out of Leroy's geometry book. There's a scientific way to arrive at the right answer, Bertie.
Yes, sir.
You can always find a shortcut if you look for it.
Yes, sir.
Every time the slow-witted caveman wanted a drink of water, he ran down to the stream, until some thinking man like me invented the bucket. You get the idea, Bertie?
Yes, sir. The man with the bucket was the first water commissioner.
No, Bertie. No. Now, let me see. I have to find the volume of the jar. To do that, it says here you have to square the circle. Square a circle? Even Einstein couldn't do that.
Mr. Gildersleeve,
Yes, Bertie?
just who did invent the bucket?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a guy named Bucket. No, let me concentrate.
Yes, sir.
The volume of a cube is equal to the product of its dimensions. And since its dimensions are equal, the volume is equal to the cube of any of its dimensions.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense to you, Bertie?
No, sir.
Well, the fellow who wrote this book is getting away with murder for all I know. Now, let's see again. The jar is round. And to get the area of a circle, it tells to multiply the square of the radius by pi.
You giving up, Mr. Gildersleeve?
No, I'm not. Now, I know how to find out how many beans in this jar.
You do?
You bet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $1,616, 1,616 and a half. I wonder where the other half of that bean is. Oh, well, it'll show up. 1,617 and a half, 1,618 and a half.
Hi, Unc.
Hello, Leroy.
What are you doing?
Counting beans.
What?
Hey, here's the other half of that bean.
You counting them by halves?
No, Leroy, this bean was split. Now, where was I before you interrupted me? Was it 1,618 or 1,619?
I don't know.
Oh, well, so I'm one bean off.
You're like count all those. There's more than one bean off around here.
Leroy, I'm determined to win that lamp for Marjorie. Now, scoot.
Okay. Mind if I take a handful from the bean shooter?
Get your paws out of there.
Okay.
Right, George, I'll never get these beans counted if the people don't keep out of here. 1,620, 21, 22. All right, Bertie. If it's for me, I'm not home.
Yes.
1,623.
Hello, Bertie.
Well, it's Jack Goodman.
Oh, my goodness.
I'd like to see Mr. Gildersleeve.
He says he ain't in.
Oh, yes, he is. I saw Leroy in the yard, and he said his uncle is counting beans.
Well, if you know that much, I might as well tell you he's in the dining room.
Thank you, Bertie.
Why did the old judge have to drop in at a time like this?
Hello, Gildy. I hear you're counting beans.
Yes, and I don't want to be interrupted, Horace. Please.
Very well. I'll sit here as quiet as a mouse.
Will you do that? 1,624.
Very thoughtful of you, going to all that trouble to win the lamp for Marjorie.
1,600.
Not many men would waste their time that way.
Confounded Judge, I thought you were going to be quiet.
I was quiet.
You were talking.
Well, I was talking in a low voice.
Well, don't.
All right, I won't.
1,625. 1,626.
I have to count faster than that.
Zeke.
Peavy's closing the contest at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
I know that, Judge. 1,627.
He's invited me to open the sealed envelope that contains the exact number of beans.
Great. 1,628.
That's because I'm a judge. He can trust me.
1,629.
He knows that I won't spill the beans.
Judge, do you mind leaving before I spill this bean jar right over your head?
Oh, I didn't realize that I was annoying you, Gilder. I'll see you this afternoon at Peter's.
All right, I'll see you there.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thank goodness he's gone. Now I'll get something done. What a talky old goat. 1,630. 1,630.
Remember, Gildy, 5 o'clock, sharp.
Judge! Where was I? 1,631. 1,631. $12,745. Brother, that's a lot of beans.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I don't want to interrupt you, but can you stop counting beans long enough to eat this sandwich?
Oh, thank you, Bertie. I need it.
Yes, sir.
Looks good. What kind is it?
Roast pork.
Well, pork and beans.
You gonna make it? It's nearly 4 o'clock.
Well, I have until 5. The jar's 3/4 full. If I don't have another interruption, I'm all set.
Oh, that's Miss Marjorie. Yes, Miss Marjorie?
Bertie, keep her out here until I hide the beans.
Yes, sir. Come in, Miss Marjorie.
Yeah, I'll just rake these loose beans into my hat and take the jar upstairs. Guess I can take the hat and the jar both at once. Now if I can just get this jar under my arm. Whoop! Let me hold it. Hold it! Oh, my goodness. Beans everywhere. Nothing, my dear. You stay out there. I just dropped my watch. Well, I should just make it to Peavy's before the deadline. Good thing I knew how many beans were in the jar when I dropped it. Now all I have to do is finish counting these in my hat. 14,109, 14,110, and 3 makes 14,113 beans. Hey, I don't like that 13. Yeah, but that's the grand total. And I'll bet I'm closer than anybody else. Nobody else would be fool enough to spend a whole day counting beans. Hello, Peavy.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Come in, Gildy, come in. You're just in time to find out how many beans are in the jar.
I know how many there are, Judge. You can double-check me. Just open the envelope.
Well, it's 5 o'clock, Peavy. Where's the envelope with the winning number?
Yeah, just to prove everything's above board, I keep it in the cash register.
Good.
Now, when the lucky number is disclosed, we'll post it in the pharmacy window. That's so the winner will know who won.
Peavy, I know who won. Open your cash register and make it official.
Very well. No sale.
No sale. You sold out the store.
Well, here's the envelope, Judge, with the winning number.
Thank you.
Here, wait a minute. Before you open it, here's my number. 14,113. To the bean.
Very well. I'll record that.
Well, here we go. Gentlemen, the exact number of beans in the jar is 14,123.
Hey, I'm only 10 beans off. I win.
Now, wait a minute. Let's see if anybody else is closer.
They couldn't be. They wouldn't dare.
How about it, Peavy?
Well, I'm sorry to say this, Mr. Gildersleeve, but there's a guess that comes a little closer than yours.
What?
14,117. That's only 6 beans off.
Peavy, who could possibly get that close?
Well, it seems to be Mrs. Peavy.
Peavy, you'll have to tell her she can't win.
Who, me? No, thanks, Mr. Gildersleeve. That'd be just asking for trouble.
Peavy, if I don't win, you'll have more trouble with me than you ever could have with Mrs. Peavy.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Bertie, hasn't Unc come home yet?
No, he hasn't, Leroy.
Gosh, he didn't even make it home for dinner, and the people are already coming to Marge's for the housewarming.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve phoned and said he wasn't coming home until he found a lamp like the one he didn't win at Mr. Peavy's.
Poor old Unc. After counting all those beans, I thought sure he'd win.
Me too.
Maybe he got punchy and started counting the buttons on his vest.
Leroy, Bertie.
Hey, he's coming in the back way.
Yeah, I found it. Here, just look at this.
My, ain't that a pretty lamp?
Yeah, just like the one at Peavy's. Spinning wheel and all. It's exactly what Marjorie wants.
I gotta give you credit, Unc. You didn't give up.
My boy, I never give up.
No, sir. Mr. Gildersleeve told Miss Marjorie she's going to get that lamp and she's going to get it.
Yeah, getting this lamp wasn't easy. I looked all over town. When at last I saw it in the store window, the place was closed.
Yeah?
But that didn't stop me. I found the owner, dragged him away from his dinner table, and bought the lamp.
How much much did it cost you?
Well, it cost just a little more than what I spent on free chances at Peavy's. But it was worth it. Yeah, I trust Peavy, but I'll always wonder if Mrs. Peavy didn't pull some sort of shenanigans to win that lamp.
She sure caused you a lot of trouble.
Well, Mrs. Peavy can't stop me. Now, Bertie, let's find a big red ribbon to tie on it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's
Hey,
mine.
hide the lamp behind the door, Leroy.
Okay.
Coming, Marjorie.
Oh, Auntie, let me give you a great big hug.
Well, thank you. Well, what's this all about?
I just had to run over and tell you. You said I'd get the lamp, and I did.
Well, I haven't given it to you yet. You say you have it already?
It's my housewarming present from Mrs. Peavy.
The great Gildersleeve will be back in just 30 seconds. Like shrimp salad, you'll like it more than ever, made with Miracle Whip salad dressing. Just try it. See what a wonderful, peppy flavor Miracle Whip gives that salad. Miracle Whip has a flavor millions of folks call just exactly right. It's a different flavor, too, one you won't find in any other salad dressing. Once you try this fine dressing, you'll join the good cooks all over America who agree that salads taste better than ever made with the one and only Miracle Whip.
Here's your breakfast, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Thank you, Bertie.
Miss Marjorie's housewarming was sure a big success.
Yeah, fine.
Those his and her bath towels you got for him were real nice.
Well, I had to run all over town last night to get them. That Mrs. Peavy, sneaking in ahead of me with that lamp. I couldn't let Margie know I had one for her just like it.
Well, we got an extra lamp out of it.
By the way, Bertie, what happened to all those beans?
I don't know. I was going to cook them, but they disappeared.
Yeah, I'll bet Leroy got them. Where is that boy?
Don't look now, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I can see his eyes peeking over the back of the couch. He's watching you.
Oh?
He's got a straw or something in his mouth.
Right, George, I'd like to know what he did with all those beans.
Ready? Aim! Fire!
Ouch! Leroy, give me that bean shooter. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Willard Waterman. The show is written by John Elliott and Andy White and is partially transcribed. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Mary Lee Robb, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, and Dick LeGrand. Musical compositions by Jack Meakin. This is John Heaston saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday throughout the summer for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Calling all sandwich makers, be on the lookout for Miracle Sandwich Spread when you're shopping. Take a jar home and discover what a delicious, different flavor this wonderful spread gives your sandwiches. Miracle Sandwich Spread is made by Kraft from America's favorite salad dressing, Miracle Whip, and spicy relishes. Use it along with the meat or cheese sandwich filling you like best. Or for the quickest, easiest, thriftiest sandwich you could want, use it alone between slices of bread. Get it tomorrow, Miracle Sandwich Spread.
Tonight, hear the best of Groucho Marx on NBC.
The Kraft Foods Company presents Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you, partially transcribed, by the Kraft Foods Company. Kraft, makers of the one and only Miracle Whip salad dressing. We say one and only because there just isn't any other salad dressing like Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip is different, and it tastes different. Miracle Whip tastes so good it's become the most popular salad dressing ever created. More Miracle Whip is sold than the next 20 leading brands of salad dressing combined. Try it. Make your salads better tasting with the one and only Miracle Whip. Well, sir, it's amazing what a boy can carry around in his pockets. But that's nothing compared to the amount of debris he can accumulate in his room. All winter, the great Gildersleeve was after Leroy to clean out his quarters, but his nephew begged off until school was out. Now that school has been out a couple of weeks, the water commissioner has had to put his foot down.
Well, he did a fair job of cleaning the junk out of his room. Now I'd better go outside and see if he burned the stuff. Oh, my goodness. Look at that pile of comic books and boxes by the incinerator. I think the incinerator is there. Yeah, I have to burn the pile myself, I suppose. City officials should keep a tidy backyard. It's election year.
Hey, hello, Uncle Mark.
Oh, good morning, Marjorie. Didn't see you.
I just came out to hang a few things on the clothesline.
Do those things belong to the twins or to Bronco?
The twins.
Oh, by George, they're growing. Leroy been to your house this morning?
I haven't seen him.
He's supposed to burn all this junk that came out of his room. But I guess I'll have to stuff it in the incinerator.
Isn't that his algebra book?
You say, it is. Well, he said he didn't want to see it anymore when school was out, and I guess he means it. What's this? Oh, that tie he gave me for Christmas.
Why is he burning your tie?
I gave it back to him. Hawaiian sunset.
How could Leroy keep all this in his room and still get into it himself?
I think he's been crawling in and out the window. Say, what's Leroy's new baseball glove doing in here? He bought it at Hogan Brothers just last week.
Oh, Leroy's so careless.
Yeah, good thing I checked up on him this morning.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Leroy.
Leroy, it's time you showed up.
I just came back to burn that stuff.
Were you going to burn this baseball glove?
Sure, it's no good.
Leroy.
It came unstitched and all the padding came out.
After 1 week?
After one day. Piggy loaned me a good one, so I threw this one away.
Leroy, if the glove was defective, why didn't you take it back to Hogan Brothers?
Well, like I say, I'm using Piggy's.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I'd certainly return it. I'd get my money back.
Yeah, you're a woman. You like to take things back and get the money.
Young man, you go back for a refund.
What?
Or make them give you a new one.
Gosh, Shunk, I don't want to go down there. Why should I feel cheap just to return a cheap glove?
My boy, I'm not thinking of the money.
Ha!
Well, I'm not. It's the principle of the thing. Now, you take the glove down there this morning.
Do I have to? A little kid like me fighting it out with a big department store.
Leroy, it's not a fight. It's a matter of business. Why do you suppose they have a complaint department right in the middle of the store?
So you'll be ashamed to return stuff with a lot of people watching.
Young man, you meet me there at 10 o'clock. I'll show you how to handle this thing. I'm surprised at Leroy. Throwing away a perfectly good defective baseball glove because he's afraid to speak up. By George, I'll speak up. I think I'll pick up a cigar at Peavy's before I tackle the complaint department. There's something about a big man with a big cigar that's impressive. Hello, Peavy.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you this morning?
Give me one of those extra long cigars, Peavy.
Very well. On your way to the office?
No, I'm on my way to the complaint department.
Well, isn't that your office?
I mean Hogan Brothers, Peavy. I'm going to meet Leroy there and return a baseball glove.
Something wrong with it?
Why do you think I'm taking it back?
Well, I imagine because there's something wrong with it.
That's exactly why I'm taking it back.
That's what I say.
I should make Leroy do it alone. But the boy's a little squeamish about asking for another glove.
Well, I can understand that. I was foolish enough to go in there once with a complaint.
What do you mean, foolish, Peavy?
Well, about a year ago, I walked in the store with 50 feet of garden hose that Mrs. Peavy had bought and told him it leaked in the wrong places. That was my first mistake.
What happened?
Well, there was a lantern-jawed gentleman behind the counter who looked like Fearless Fosdick.
Yeah?
And he immediately assumed that I was in the wrong and accused me of bringing back a used hose.
He did?
So I asked him how could I tell it leaked if I hadn't used it.
Well, he'd better not rub me the wrong way when I go in there.
Well, I hope you have your sales slip, Mr. Gildersleeve. That's one of the first things he asked me.
You bet. I'm loaded.
Well, I wasn't.
Did he settle with you then?
Not without an argument. And that's when I got my dander up.
Oh?
I was about to swing that 50 feet of hose around my head and clear out the store. And then they gave me my money back.
Good for you, Peavy. I hope I don't have to smack anybody with that baseball glove.
Well, it was quite a shaking experience, especially when I got home and found out Mrs. Peavy hadn't bought the hose there at all.
She hadn't?
She picked it up at the corner hardware store.
So you had to return the money and apologize?
No, I wouldn't say that.
What?
I went back with that in mind, but they saw me coming, called the house detective, and he showed me the door before I could say a word.
By George, I'm going to have trouble with that man in the complaint department. I can feel it.
Complaint Department, Miss McKinley speaking. I'm the manager. How can I help you, Mr. Jones? It fell apart. Oh, no, you poor man. Well, I don't blame you. I'd be upset, too.
Yeah, I beg your pardon, miss. I'm Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Oh, just a moment. Now, Mr. Jones, it's so difficult to settle these little things over the phone. Why don't you come down and talk to me personally?
Just listen to that come-hither voice.
Anytime, Mr. Jones, anytime.
By George, she's not going to sweet-talk me like that.
Goodbye, Mr. Jones. Now then, what can I do for you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
How did you know my name?
You told me while I was on the phone.
Oh, yes. Well...
Surely you don't have a complaint, Mr. Gildersleeve. You don't appear to be the complaining kind.
Well... I have a complaint, but I don't want to handle it through you.
Oh?
I want to talk directly to the manager.
I see.
I understand the manager's a tough old bird.
Well, not so old.
But I'm a tough city official, and if I don't get any satisfaction, I'll go right over his head. And I mean right over. I'll go direct to the Hogan brothers.
Well, that might be a little difficult.
Oh, yeah?
The Hogan brothers haven't been around since 1910.
Hey. Oh, yes. Yes, I forgot. Well...
Hi, Unc.
Oh, hello, Leroy. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, here's the baseball glove. She going to give you another one?
Well, I haven't talked to this young lady about it. I'm taking it up with the manager personally.
Is there something wrong with the glove?
Yeah, the seam's ripped. All the padding came out. It's a no-wear glove.
It certainly is a no-wear glove if all the padding came out. I don't blame you for returning it, young man. Do you have the sales slip?
Unc has it.
May I see it? Unc?
Now, just a minute. Where's the manager?
I'm the manager.
I want to get to that tough old bird. You're the manager?
Uh-huh.
Where's Fearless Fosdick? Yeah, I mean, the fellow who used to be here.
Oh, that was Mr. Pennywaith. He isn't with us anymore.
Oh?
He had a nervous breakdown about a year ago when a little man came in here swinging a garden hose.
Yeah, good old Peavy.
Who?
Never mind. Then you really are in charge of complaints.
I've been trying to impress that on you for some time.
Well, I'm impressed, but...
Hurry up, Unc. Start complaining.
Oh, Leroy, not so fast.
You said you wanted to show me how to handle these things. Go ahead and tell her off like you said you would.
Leroy. Now, about the glove, Miss
McKinley, if that's important.
Miss McKinley.
Oh, for corn's sake.
Well, now, Miss McKinley.
Why don't you just call me the tough old bird?
No, Miss McKinley, I'm very sorry about that. There's nothing very old or tough about you.
Oh, brother. Come on now, get your mind back on the baseball glove.
It's obviously a defective glove. If you have the sales slip, we can iron this out very quickly.
Well, we're in no hurry. Yeah, I know these things take time.
The sales slip, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Leroy, the sales slip.
I thought you had it.
Well, yeah, I thought I did, too. It must be in one of my pockets. Doesn't seem to be, though. Miss McKinley, would you care to go to lunch with me while I continue the search?
Get him.
Really, Mr. Gildersleeve, you've already taken up quite a lot of my time.
I have? But Miss McKinley... Leroy, what's the idea of coming down here and taking up Miss McKinley's time?
What?
Sorry, Miss McKinley. It was all our fault. Sorry to have bothered you. But it has been an interesting experience.
Oh, thank you. It's been an experience for me, too.
Well... Come along, Leroy. Bring your little glove.
But, Unc, aren't you going to put up an argument?
My boy, a gentleman does not argue with the complaint department.
What a character.
The great Gildersleeve will be back in just a minute. You good cooks wouldn't dream of making your favorite cake from that prized recipe and then spoiling the results by frosting it with anything less than your best frosting, would you? Neither would you want to fix a luscious salad and use just any salad dressing on it. You want the salad dressing that'll add to the goodness of your salad, make it even more delicious. That's why so many good cooks insist on Miracle Whip salad dressing. Miracle Whip has a truly marvelous flavor, a lively, teasing flavor that's just sharp enough. A flavor you can depend on to add worlds of taste appeal to even a simple salad. It's a flavor that's different, too, one no other salad dressing has, because Miracle Whip is a special kind of salad dressing made from a secret Kraft recipe. Miracle Whip actually combines the best qualities of good old-fashioned boiled dressing and fine, rich mayonnaise. And what a texture Miracle Whip has. It's creamy, thick, and smooth as can be because this dressing is blended carefully with special Kraft beaters. The very first time you try Miracle Whip, you'll know why it's become the most popular salad dressing ever created, why it outsells the next 20 leading brands of salad dressing combined. Try it soon. Get a jar of smooth, delicious Miracle Whip from your grocer tomorrow and enjoy a summer full of the most wonderful salads you've ever tasted. Salads made with the one and only Miracle Whip salad dressing. This morning, the great Gildersleeve insisted that Leroy meet him at Hogan Brothers and return a defective baseball glove. This was to be a lesson to little Leroy on how to handle such matters. But when the water commissioner met the attractive young woman who manages the complaint department, he had no complaints.
There's something about that girl's voice that's hard to forget. I wonder where she lives and what she does when she's not behind the counter. Well, she wouldn't go to lunch with me. Guess I'll stop in and eat with Peavy. Peavy, I'm back.
Sure, Keith.
Give me one of your blue plates.
Very well. You want any food on the plate?
All right, Peavy, just dish it up.
Very well. How did you fare at the complaint department, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, wonderful, Peavy. Just great. I might say that complaint department is perfect.
Well, I take it you got a good settlement on Leroy's glove.
Well, I bought him a new one.
How's that?
I just didn't want to cause the complaint department any trouble.
My.
There's a young lady in charge down there now, Peavy.
You don't say.
And I don't mind saying she made quite an impression on me.
Well, that's not hard for a young lady to do.
No, this is different, Petey. She does something to me when she talks to me in that husky voice.
Well, perhaps she has a cold. Why don't you send her around to the pharmacy?
No, it's natural. She probably can't help doing this to me.
Here's your plate lunch, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, thanks, Petey. Yeah, I never saw anything prettier.
Pig Knuckles never did much for me.
I'm not talking about your lunch. I'm talking about Miss McKinley.
McKinley? My father voted for McKinley.
What does that have to do with it, Peavy?
Well, what's good enough for my father is certainly good enough for you.
Oh.
Your knuckles are getting cold, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, I know. But before I eat, I think I'll give Miss McKinley a jingle. I can't get over that voice.
She won't think you're being forward, will she?
Oh, I won't tell her it's me. I'll just pretend I'm somebody else with a complaint. I'll kid her along a while. I'm good at that. She'll never have the slightest idea who I am.
Hogan Brothers.
Young lady, will you connect me with the complaint department?
One moment, please.
Peavy, I may be talking to her quite a while. Keep my lunch warm, will you?
Well, one blue plate on the hot plate.
I hope she's in.
Miss McKinley speaking.
You must have got her.
Miss McKinley?
Yes?
I called to register a complaint.
What are you complaining about now, Mr. Gildersleeve? You are Mr. Gildersleeve, aren't you?
Why, yes. I'm surprised you recognized my voice. And quite flattered that you'd remember me.
Oh, you just don't forget some people.
Well, thank you.
Did you find your sales slip?
The sales slip? No, but Miss McKinley, please don't consider me forward. But will you have dinner with me tonight?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve. But I'm afraid the only way we can see each other is over the complaint counter. Goodbye.
But by George, she hung up on me. Well, I can hang up on her, too. Take that, McKinley.
Hey, be careful of that phone, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I'm sorry, Peavy, but she wouldn't have dinner with me.
Well, I still have half a pot of pig knuckles.
Oh?
Please don't consider me forward, but will you have dinner with me?
I hope Marjorie's home. If the only way I can see Miss McKinley is over the complaint counter, I'll dig up some complaints.
Unky.
Hello, Margie.
I didn't expect to see you here in the middle of the afternoon. Come on in.
Well, I can only stay a minute.
Oh, let me take your hat.
Thank you. Marjorie, have you bought anything at Hogan Brothers recently that you weren't satisfied with?
Nothing I can think of, Unky.
We'll try to think of something. What'd you buy last?
Let me see. Oh, I bought a shirt recently for Bronco.
How was it? Did it shrink?
Hi, Aunt. Saw you come over. What's up?
Oh, hello, Leroy.
Hello, Leroy.
Hi, what's up?
Marjorie, did it shrink?
Did what shrink?
I haven't washed it yet.
Well, let's wash it.
Wash what?
Let's find out. Let's check these things.
Check what?
Well, must you know right away, Unky?
What does he want to know? What do I want to know?
Well, I'd like to, Marjorie. This is urgent.
What's urgent?
Leroy, this doesn't concern you.
Who does it concern?
How about it, Marjorie? Will you wash it?
Well, do you want to call Bronco at the office?
Why call Bronco?
Well, he's wearing the shirt.
All this because Bronco's wearing a shirt?
Leroy, Unky wants to find out if the shirt I bought at Hogan Brothers will shrink.
Well, if it's so important, why don't you tell Bronco to run down to the Y and jump in the pool?
Never mind. I'll dig up my complaints somewhere else. There doesn't seem to be anything defective about this dollar fountain pen I bought. Gildersleeve, why do you keep hanging around Hogan Brothers? Why aren't you at the office?
Mr. Bentley, cash.
Here I am circling around the complaint desk like a big moose around a lake. It isn't that she's turned my head. This has become a challenge. Say, if I turn my head, I can see her through greeting cards and ladies' hosiery. She is pretty. Oop, pardon me.
I will not.
Judge! Sorry I bumped into you.
You could hardly avoid bumping into somebody, Gildy. You were wandering around like a candidate who just lost the nomination.
All right, Judge. Say, you have packages. Did you buy these things here at Hogan Brothers?
Well, I haven't been shoplifting.
Did you check your purchases closely for defects?
Defects? Of course not. They're all new.
Well, Leroy bought a new glove that was ripped. You have to check these things. And if anything's wrong, I'll gladly take it up with the complaint department for you.
Why should you take it up with the complaint department?
Don't ask questions, Judge. Let's just open your packages.
Gildy, get your big paws out of my packages.
What do we have here?
A pair of new suspenders. Now, you give them to me.
You better be sure they're all right. Let's test the elastic.
There's nothing wrong with the elastic. Let go.
You hang on to that end and we'll see.
Gildy, stop pulling.
Yeah, they haven't enough stretch, Judge.
Oh, yes, they have. Watch how they snap back.
Oh! You let go. Judge, that was a sneaky thing to do.
Well, you wouldn't have gotten snapped on the nose if you hadn't been so nosy. Good day.
Good day. Uncooperative old goat. Yeah, let's see. What can I go to the complaint desk about?
Mr. Bentley, cash.
You don't keep much cash around here. Say, that fountain pen I bought. I can make it defective if I just take out the ink cartridge. Yeah, let's see now. Yep, it slips right out. Yeah, I'll just put this in my pocket and waltz over and make a complaint. Yeah, Gildersleeve, you're sly. Hey, she's on the phone.
Oh, that's perfectly all right, Mrs. Parsons. We're happy to make the exchange. Goodbye.
Hello, Miss McKinley.
Oh, you're back again, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, indeed. And I really have a complaint this time.
Oh, I'm glad you were able to find one.
Well, it shouldn't be necessary. After all, I'm a prominent man in town. City water commissioner. You use water, don't you?
Every day.
Well, you're one of my customers. And there's nothing wrong with the water commissioner talking to his customers.
Mr. Gildersleeve, what do you wish to complain about?
In fact, I believe in keeping in close personal touch with my customers. Where do you live, Miss McKinley?
Is that important?
Yeah, I'm just curious to know how the pressure is out there.
Well, it could become a problem.
Of course, if I had your address, I could drop by and check.
Oh, there you are, Gildy.
Judge, go away. I'm busy.
Now I see why you were pulling my suspenders.
Judge, I'm here with a legitimate complaint. Aren't I, Miss McKinley?
Well, you haven't said what it is.
Oh, well, it's this dollar fountain pen I bought. Doesn't seem to have an ink cartridge. Look.
Oh, it doesn't, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Judge.
Well, we'll see what can be done about it. Do you have your sales slip, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yeah, yes, indeed. I have it right here in my pocket. Here we are. Uh-oh.
You dropped something, Gildy.
Why, Mr. Gildersleeve, it's the missing ink cartridge.
Gildersleeve, you've bungled it again. Hello, Leroy. What are you doing here in the office?
Just thought I'd drop by and borrow that new fountain pen of yours that writes without ink.
Talky judge. Leroy, why don't you run on home? I have a lot of work to catch up on.
Yeah? What are you doing looking out the window? You can't see Hogan Brothers from here.
Well, I'll admit I was a little carried away by that Miss McKinley.
I'll say.
She made me feel pretty foolish, and believe me, that isn't going to happen again.
Oh, no.
As the old saying goes, she isn't the only fish in the sea. Say, who's that getting out of that car down there? Nice.
Isn't that Miss McKinley?
It sure is. She's coming in the building. I wonder if she's coming to see me.
Are you kidding?
Where else could she be doing at City Hall?
Paying her taxes?
She probably misses my visits to the complaint department. Yeah, I made a better impression than I thought.
If she tries to get in, we'll lock the door.
What?
Well, you don't want to see her again.
Leroy, she's coming down the corridor. Scoot out the side door.
Why don't I hide in the broom closet? I want to see what happens.
Scoot, Leroy, I'll tell you what happens.
Ha!
Scoot, Leroy.
Okay.
Now, let's see. I tie straight. I don't hear her footsteps. She's probably looking for my office. Here she comes. By George, all I had to do was play hard to get for one day, and she comes to me.
Mr. Gildersleeve,
Well, Miss McKinley, come in.
I suppose you wonder why I'm here.
Oh, no. Sit down.
Thank you. I hope you don't mind my dropping in like this. You've been by my desk so often, I feel that we aren't exactly strangers.
Well, no reason why we should be.
Now then, yesterday you wanted my address. Today I'm ready to give it to you.
Well, I wish you would.
I have an apartment at 523 East Elm.
East Elm. Here, let me write that here in my book. Gildersleeve, you're dynamite. Now then, Miss McKinley, when may I come to see you?
The sooner the better.
How about tonight?
You'd better come right now.
Well, great.
There's a leaky water main right in front of my apartment.
Oh, my goodness.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just 30 seconds. There's just nothing like good potato salad. And there's nothing for good potato salad like Miracle Whip salad dressing. Just try it. See what a wonderful peppy flavor Miracle Whip gives that salad. It's a flavor millions of folks call just exactly right. And it's different, a flavor no other salad dressing has. See for yourself how delicious Miracle Whip is in potato salad and on gelatin salads, fruit salads, and meat and seafood salads, too. Get it tomorrow, the one and only Miracle Whip salad dressing.
Unc, you should have got Charlie Anderson to fix this water main. You don't know what you're doing.
Never mind, Leroy. Yeah. I wonder which apartment is hers.
You're turning that valve the wrong way, Unc.
By George, there she is up at that window. Hello!
Oh, for corn's sake, Unc, you're going to bust something. You don't know what you're doing.
Don't worry. I'll have this fixed in a jiffy.
Unc, I'm telling you, you better watch.
Oh!
Now you done it. Turn it off. I'm drowning.
Give me the wrench. Quick.
Gee. Well, won't have to take a bath tonight.
It's soaked. Now she'll really think I'm a muttonhead.
Think? Ah!
Mr. Gildersleeve? Mr. Gildersleeve, are you hurt?
No, not where it shows.
You're dripping wet. You and Leroy had better come up and dry off.
Up there? Well, thank you. Be right up. Who said I didn't know what I was doing? Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Willard Waterman. The show is written by John Elliott and Andy White and is partially transcribed. Included in the cast are Walter Chetley, Mary Lee Robb, Earl Ross, Dick LeGrand, and Gloria Blondell. Musical compositions by Jack Meakin. This is John Heaston saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday throughout the summer for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Are you aware of the rights and privileges you enjoy as an American citizen? Do you know what you can do to protect those rights and privileges? You can vote in every election. You can take part in civic and school affairs. You can serve gladly on juries. You can respect the rights of others. We Americans have a priceless heritage of freedom. But to preserve our way of life, each and every one of us must be willing to assume the duties of active citizenship. Do your part. Remember, freedom is everybody's job.
Tonight, hear the best of Groucho on NBC.
The Kraft Foods Company presents Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve. Great Gildersleeve is brought to you, partially transcribed, by the Kraft Foods Company. Kraft, makers of the one and only Miracle Whip salad dressing. We say one and only because there just isn't any other salad dressing like Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip is different, and it tastes different. Miracle Whip tastes so good it's become the most popular salad dressing ever created. More Miracle Whip is sold than the next 20 leading brands of salad dressing combined. Try it. Make your salads better tasting with the one and only Miracle Whip. The great Gildersleeve has never plunged into the sea of matrimony, but he does like to dangle his toes in the water once in a while. A few days ago, he met a Miss Gloria McKinley, manager of the complaint department at Hogan Brothers. He hasn't had a date with her yet, but this afternoon he has persuaded her to let him drive her home from work. Accordingly, we find him parked in front of the store with his motor running.
I better leave it running, too. That policeman in the corner has his eye on me, and I'm parked in a loading zone. Well, I'm waiting to pick up a pretty little package. Right, George, I want to make a good impression on her. Should have washed the car. I didn't notice Leroy written in the dust in the hood. Oh, well.
You, Gildy.
Uh-oh, Judge Hooker. He would have to show up.
Gildy, you're in a loading zone.
I know it, Judge.
And your motor's running.
I know that, too.
Why don't you turn it off before it boils over?
Well, it is beginning to steam.
You better start it up again, Gildy. You're too close to the fire plug.
Oh, my goodness. The only backseat driver I ever saw was stands on the curb.
Are you waiting for somebody?
Judge, I'm not just sitting here trying to run out of gas.
Oh, I know. It's closing time, and I'll bet you're waiting for Miss McKinley. Do you have a date?
You bet. She's letting me drive her home.
Well, I guess she figures that's better than taking the bus.
Yes.
She can save a dime and make fewer stops, unless you plan to stop and watch the sun setting behind the reservoir.
Judge, will you please go away?
As it happens, Gildy, I must. I'm going home and read my 4th of July speech. I'm orating at Kraft Park.
Well, I thought Congressman Greenhall was going to speak.
Well, he's leaving for the convention, and I'm reading the speech that he prepared.
Oh?
I suppose you'll be there to hear me?
There must be a better way to spend the 4th than listening to an old goat.
Gildy, I don't exactly relish the assignment. Miss Matterhorn is vacationing at Virginia Lakes, and I'd planned to go up there for the 4th.
Judge, I don't envy you reading somebody else's speech.
Well, if I don't like what the congressman has written, I can always preface it by saying the views expressed in the speech do not necessarily represent the views of the speaker.
Step aside, Judge.
What?
Here comes Miss McKinley.
Oh, I'll open the door.
Judge, let me open it.
It's already open.
Busybody. Hello, Miss McKinley.
Sorry if I've kept you waiting, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Not at all. I've kept him entertained.
Judge, hop in, Miss McKinley.
Oh, thank you.
Judge, you may now close the door.
Well, aren't you going to introduce me?
Oh, all right. Miss McKinley, may I present Judge Hooker?
How do you do, Judge?
This is a rare pleasure, Miss McKinley.
Look at him bow. If he isn't careful, he'll bump his head on the running board. Goodbye, Judge.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Judge.
I told you goodbye, Gildy. Why don't you go?
Yes. Come on, car.
Could your car be out of gas?
Oh, the water commissioner doesn't burn gas. He burns water.
Oh, Judge.
Darn car would have to embarrass me at a time like this.
My, what a noisy car.
Goodbye, Judge.
Why don't you bring it to the park on the 4th and we'll use it instead of firecrackers?
Courtroom comedian.
Is Judge Hooker a friend of yours?
He poses as one.
Well, all in one afternoon, I've met a distinguished judge, and I'm being driven home by the city water commissioner.
Well, Miss McKinley, you'd be riding in a new car if this wasn't election year. You've heard the cracks about freezers and fur coats and stuff like that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. You men in the public eye have so many things to think about.
Well, scarcely a day goes by that I don't think about something.
I've always wondered what important men talk about.
So have I. Oh! You mean the judge and me?
Of course. Oh, you don't have to be so modest, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, thank you.
Well, now, what problems were you two men wrestling with?
Oh, nothing important, really. When you came up, we were just discussing the 4th of July speech.
Oh, are you going to deliver the speech at the 4th of July celebration?
Me?
Oh, thrilling.
Well, anyway, that's what the judge and I were discussing.
And he was asking you to deliver the speech.
Well, no, not exactly, Miss McKinley. Originally, our congressman was supposed to make the speech. But he couldn't be here, so he had to ask somebody else.
So the congressman himself asked you. Are you a close friend of his, too?
Well, I voted for him. He helped put him in office, I mean.
How wonderful that he asked you to take his place. What are you going to say in front of all those people, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, frankly, I haven't given it much thought.
I don't suppose that's a problem to an experienced orator like you.
Well, you can be sure I'll come up with something. I wonder what I will come up with. So that's how it happened, Marjorie. Now I'm behind the 8 ball.
Unky, why did you lead her to believe you were going to make the speech?
I didn't. When a woman wants to believe something, she just believes it.
I got an idea, Unc.
What's that, Leroy?
Tell her you can't make the speech because you have laryngitis.
But I don't have laryngitis.
Go get your feet wet and catch it.
Leroy, don't be ridiculous.
I'm not even supposed to give the speech. That's Judge Hooker's job.
Why didn't you just tell her Judge Hooker was supposed to do it?
Well, she made it sound like such a big thing, I couldn't say no. She'll probably be sitting in the front row, and if I don't appear, she'll think I'm a braggart.
Yeah.
She'll think I'm just trying to attract attention to myself.
Yeah.
She'll lose respect for me.
Yeah.
She'll think I'm just a big...
Windbag?
Yeah. Leroy.
Well, just helping you out.
Yeah, well, don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
What are you going to do, Unky?
Well, now that I'm in this deep, there's only one thing to do. Call her and tell her she made a mistake about the whole thing.
She made a mistake.
Well, she got the wrong impression. I'll tell her Judge Hooker is making the speech.
Oh, I think that's very wise, Unky.
You bet. She'll like me better if I tell her the truth. Yeah, I'll drive over and see her right now and clear up the situation. All right, Bertie. If it's for me, I'm just leaving.
Yes, sir. It's Gildersleeve, President. One moment, please. It's you, Miss Gildersleeve.
Bertie, I said I was leaving.
Yes, sir, but this is a lady. And when there's a lady on the phone, I know you ain't going nowhere.
Oh, well. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. This is Gloria McKinley.
Miss McKinley? Oh, yes, Miss McKinley. Well, I was just thinking about you. There's something I want to talk to you about.
Oh, I hope you don't think it's terrible of me to phone you, but there's something I must talk to you about, too.
Good. Glad you called, but first let me clear up something about that 4th of July speech.
The speech of yours is what has me so excited. I've just had the most marvelous idea.
Oh?
Hogan Brothers is having a special 4th of July window display.
Fine. Now, about the speech.
I'm coming to that. I'm so thrilled about your making the speech. I'm having our art department put a sign in the store window.
The sign in the window?
Telling people not to miss the important address to be delivered in Craft Park by Commissioner Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Zeke.
What?
Miss McKinley, you shouldn't have done that.
Oh, it was nothing.
Yes, it was. You don't understand. Suppose I don't even make the speech.
But you said you were going to.
Now, wait a minute, Miss McKinley.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you weren't just leading me on, were you?
Miss McKinley, I'd never do that.
Oh, I'm sure you wouldn't. Now then, what did you want to talk to me about? You said there was something that needed clearing up.
Clearing up? Oh, yes. Well, it's a little cloudy. I hope the weather clears up so I can give that speech.
The sun is shining at my house.
It isn't shining over here.
matter this morning, Unc? You don't look so worried and wrinkled.
Leroy, I'm not wrinkled. And I do feel better this morning.
I don't get it. You meet a new girl, and the first time you take her out, you get yourself in a big hassle.
Yeah, I'm not in a hassle. I figured the whole thing out.
Yeah?
Judge Hooker doesn't want to make the 4th of July speech anyway. All I have to do is offer to make it for him. He'll be delighted. Then he can go to Virginia Lakes and see Miss Matterhorn.
You'd rather look at Miss Matterhorn than make a speech?
Well, there's no accounting for tastes. Yeah, I'm stopping here in the judge's office, my boy. See you later.
So long, Unc.
The judge's door is open. Look at him wave his arms. I wonder if he's practicing his speech or there's a bee in his office.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to preface my remarks by relating an amusing little anecdote.
Hey, he's working on his speech, all right.
On my way to Craft Park this afternoon, I met 2 gentlemen named Pat and Mike.
Pat and Mike. Judge!
Pat said to Mike...
Judge, do you mind if I interrupt?
Oh, hello, Gildy. I was just rehearsing the opening of my 4th of July address.
Well, Judge, you can forget the speech.
What?
Yeah, I know your heart isn't in it. You'd rather go up and join Miss Matterhorn.
Well, the speech is knocking me out of the trip.
It doesn't have to. I've come to do you a big favor, old friend.
Oh?
I've decided to make the speech for you.
You have? Why?
Why? Well, Judge, don't ask silly questions. Just take advantage of my generous offer and hit the road.
Gildy, why are you so anxious to get me out of town? You must have a reason.
Well, I'm only thinking of you and Miss Matterhorn. You know you want to be with her, and she wants to be with you.
Well, yes, she does. I had a card from her this morning saying, having wonderful time, wish you were here.
You see, Judge? Now get going and forget about the speech. Just hand it to me.
No, I'd better make the speech. The congressman asked me.
Well, you can ask me. Go ahead, ask me. I'll do it. In fact, I've got to do it.
I won't do that to our congressman.
Oop. You know I'm a better speaker than you are.
Is that so? I heard you speak at the Elks Club once, and even the stuffed elk got up and walked out.
The great Gildersleeve will be back in just a minute. The time is early evening. The place is your dining room. The table is set with your best linen and china and silver because you're expecting guests. And you, the hostess and star of this drama, are proudly bringing in the most beautiful and elegant-looking salad you've ever fixed. You're relaxed, too, sure that this salad will taste just as delicious as it looks because you've used the salad dressing you know will give it just the right flavor. Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip salad dressing has a flavor millions of folks call just exactly right. It's a lively, teasing flavor. Distinctive, too. One you won't find in any other salad dressing. That's because Miracle Whip is a different kind of salad dressing. It's made from a secret craft recipe and gives you the best qualities of old-fashioned boiled dressing and fine, rich mayonnaise. Miracle Whip has a perfect texture, too. Creamy thick and smooth as satin because this salad dressing is blended carefully with special craft beaters. No wonder it's America's favorite salad dressing, the most popular salad dressing ever created. So whether you're fixing fancy company salads or the simplest salad in the world for your family, remember to make it extra delicious. Make it with Miracle Whip. Well, the great Gildersleeve was so anxious to impress his new girlfriend, Miss McKinley, that he was willing to let her believe he was making the important 4th of July address in Craft Park. Now, the water commissioner is in hot water.
The judge certainly did surprise me, Marjorie. He didn't care a thing about making the speech until he found out somebody else wanted to do it.
Well, that's a very human reaction, Unky.
Yeah, that's the trouble with the old goat. He's too human. He immediately suspected that I was up to something.
Weren't you?
Well, naturally. But what sort of a friend is he to accuse me of it?
Ain't you giving the speech, Miss Gildersleeve?
Apparently not, Bertie.
Yes, sir. But there's a sign in Hogan Brothers' window that says you are.
I know, Bertie.
It says here, Commissioner Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve speak on the 4th of July.
I saw that sign, Bertie, but it's misleading.
Then you're not reading the congressman's speech?
No, the congressman really asked the judge.
Because the congressman didn't want to?
Well, he wanted to, but he couldn't, Bertie.
Yes, ma'am.
And the judge didn't want to, but I do, so now he wants to.
Oh, yes, sir. I wonder if that speech knows who's going to make it.
What do you mean, Betty?
Well, the congressman wanted to make it, but he couldn't, and the judge could and would, but he didn't want to. Then you come along and want to, but couldn't, because when you wanted the judge to give it up, he wouldn't.
Bertie, it isn't funny.
No, sir.
Unky, don't you think you should call Miss McKinley and tell her to take that sign out of the window?
Well, I'm going to phone the judge and give him one more chance to change his mind. I hate to crawl back to him and beg him, but beggars can't be choosers.
Hello? Judge Hooker speaking.
Hello, Judge. About that speech you don't want to give.
What about it, Gildy?
Well, I just wondered if you wouldn't reconsider.
I have reconsidered.
You have?
My answer is still no.
Oh, my goodness.
I saw that sign in Hogan Brothers' window.
Well, then you see, I have to make the speech or I'll be the laughing stock of the town.
Good. May I be the first to laugh?
Judge.
Now, hang up, will you? I'm busy. I have a million things to do.
But
I have to study my lines, go to the barber shop, stop by the cleaners from a blue suit. The only one that I can wear for the speech.
Oh? You don't have another suit?
When I thought I was going to rough it at Virginia Lakes, I sent all my suits to the cleaners. They're rushing my blue serge for me.
Well, Judge. Horace. Old friend. If you're so busy, why don't I stop by and pick up your suit for you?
Would you do that for me, Gildy?
You bet. Naturally, I want to do anything I can to help make the 4th of July a success.
Well, Gildy, be sure to pick it up before 5. The cleaners are closed over the 4th.
Don't worry, Judge. You'll have something to wear.
Thank you, Gildy, old friend. I have to hang up now and get busy.
Yeah, I have to get busy, too. Goodbye, Judge.
Goodbye.
You don't seem the least bit upset about not getting to make the speech.
Oh, not a bit, my dear. Just imagine. The judge doesn't have a thing to wear tomorrow.
What's so funny? Unky, you are going to pick up the judge's suit, aren't you?
Sure. But there can be many a slip between the cleaners and Judge Hooker's house. Bertie!
Yes, sir?
Is Leroy's little blue suit up in the closet? Gildersleeve, you're pretty clever. Pretty clever the way you outfoxed the judge. Yeah, I had quite a time explaining why I didn't bring the suit by last night. Now it's too late for him to do anything about it. Oh, wait until he tries to put on Leroy's suit. And lucky for the old judge, I can step into the breach, though. Yeah, I can see Miss McKinley now, sitting in the front row in something summery, listening to me give the speech.
Well, Gildy, it's about time you got here.
Hello, Judge. Here's the suit in the bag.
All right, give it to me.
Don't be so impatient, Judge.
If you'll excuse me, I'll slip into the next room. I want to dress and rehearse my speech in front of the mirror.
Oh, brother. Wait until he sees himself in that suit.
If you hadn't shown up with this suit, I'd have had to leave for Virginia Lakes. I certainly couldn't make the speech in my bathing suit.
Well, your barber pole swimsuit covers you pretty well, Judge.
I can't see very well in here. Gildy, are you sure this is my suit?
It's blue serge.
That's funny. Feels awfully small.
And maybe you've gained weight, Judge.
I might have gained a couple of pounds, but I know I haven't grown this much. Why, the pants cuffs come clear up to my knees.
They do?
Yeah. Everything's shrunk. Gildy, come in here and look at this.
I'd like to.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, my goodness. Judge, you can't stand up in public like that.
Stand up? I can't even sit down.
Judge, don't try it.
I can't bend. See?
Oh! Leroy's suit. Bertie, how's my new suit? I'm going to need it.
It's pressed and in the closet. Are you making a speech?
You bet. The judge is on his way to Virginia Lakes.
Yes, sir.
You should have seen him trying to squeeze into Leroy's pants.
Yes, sir. Where's Leroy's suit now?
Well, I'll have to buy him a new one. But it was worth it. I sure tricked the old judge.
Yes, sir, but this ain't April Fool's Day, you know.
What's this, Bertie?
This is the 4th of July, and that's Independence Day. It ain't April Fool's Day.
Now, Bertie.
The judge don't get to speak, and Leroy lost his pants, but that don't make it April Fool's Day. This is Independence Day. You don't fool around with independence.
Yeah, all right.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you know why you don't play April Fool jokes on the 4th of July?
Yes,
That's
Bertie.
right, because it's Independence Day, and you don't fool around with independence.
Good old Bertie. She takes Independence Day pretty seriously. Well, I do, too. That's why I want to be with Miss McKinley. She seems to like big shots, and by George, that's exactly what I am. I'll mesmerize her with my speech, and then take her to the hot dog stand. Never mind, Bertie. I'm right here. Wonder who that is. Hope the judge didn't decide to come back and speak in his bathing suit.
Hello, Throckmorton.
Miss McKinley. I didn't expect to see you. Come in.
Oh, I haven't time. I just stopped by on my way out of town.
Out of town?
But I just couldn't leave without wishing you luck with your speech today.
Miss McKinley, you're not going to be there?
Oh, didn't I tell you? I'm going to Hogan Brothers' 4th of July picnic with the assistant manager.
Assistant manager? But I thought you wanted to hear me speak.
Oh, I do. But I can't afford to offend the assistant manager.
You can't?
Mr. Gildersleeve, he's an important man.
But what about me?
Oh, you can read me the speech some other time. Goodbye now, and I'll be thinking about you every minute.
Big help.
When are you leaving for the park, Unc?
Oh, I don't care whether I go or not, Leroy. Somehow my heart isn't in reading the speech.
Well, gosh, you sure worked enough angles to get the chance.
Oh, Leroy, all this is Judge Hooker's doings.
What?
What a sneaky thing to do. Run off to Virginia Lakes and have the time of his life, toss his old speech in my lap.
Get him. Oh, brother.
I don't have to make this speech. I'm not trying to impress anybody.
Oh, that's right. She ran out on you, didn't she?
Leroy.
Mr. Gildersleeve, aren't you putting on your new suit?
Oh, I don't know, Bertie.
It's getting late. I see people heading for Craft Park.
I'm going to parade with the Boy Scouts, Unc.
Good for you, my boy.
I just saw a man in a uniform pass here with a bass drum. There's going to be big doings today.
Great. Leroy, I think I'll let you take the speech down and give it to somebody on the committee.
Yeah? Who?
Well, give it to Mr. Sprague. He likes to be in the limelight.
Is this a speech here on the table?
What's the speech about?
It says freedom.
And you ain't going to read it, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Bertie, it isn't my job. Congressman Greenhall wrote the speech. It was his job to give it.
Yes, sir.
And then it was the judge's job. And then they wished the job onto me.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Unc, says here that freedom is everybody's job.
What's that?
The speech says the survival of our freedom depends on everybody.
Who?
And listen to this. If we want to preserve the liberties we commemorate on this 4th of July, each of us must conscientiously work at being good citizens.
Yes, sir. If you want to do anything right, you got to work at it. If you want to be a good cook, you got to work at it. If you want to be a good citizen, you got to work at it.
That's true, Bertie.
Hey, get a load of this, Unc. Being a good citizen means voting in elections, keeping informed and making our opinions known to our representatives, serving on juries and school boards, and... Unc, how about that time you wiggled out of jury duty?
Well, I did get off the jury, but I was serving on the school board at the time. Let me see that speech, Leroy.
Sure.
Freedom. Represented. This makes a lot of sense. Our American heritage, the rights and liberties which we cherish,
must be made an increasingly vital part of our everyday life. We must work together to keep our freedom, not just take it for granted.
That's right.
And by George, we'd better watch it. We could lose some of those liberties before we know it. Come on, Leroy. We're going down to Kraft Park and tell them a thing or two.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just 30 seconds. Too hot to cook? Make a cool, easy salad main dish and make it really delicious with Miracle Whip salad dressing. And I mean really delicious, because Miracle Whip has such a wonderful flavor, a peppy flavor, a flavor that folks everywhere call just right. It's a different flavor, too, one no other salad dressing has. Try Miracle Whip on the very next salad you make. See how much better tasting your salads are when you make them with the one and only Miracle Whip salad dressing.
You got the Speec, Unc?
You bet. Right here in my inside pocket.
Boy, if you lost that, you'd be sunk.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you gotta have something to read. You haven't got it memorized.
Well, I'd get up there and say something. Yeah, I know a few things, my boy. I've got quite a bit of history right at my fingertips.
Yeah?
Yes, indeed. Did you know, my boy, that yesterday was the 85th birthday of one of our closest neighbors?
Oh, Mr. Bullard?
Mr. Bullard, no. It was the 85th birthday of our country's good neighbor to the north, Canada.
No kidding.
That's right. The United States and Canada have been good neighbors for more years than you could count, working together, each contributing to the prosperity of the other. We have the kind of working friendship that should be a lesson and an inspiration to other countries all over the world. All right, George, let's all wish Canada a happy birthday. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Willard Waterman. The show is written by John Elliott and Andy White and is partially transcribed. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Mary Lee Robb, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, and Gloria Blondell. Musical compositions by Jack Meakin. This is John Heaston saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday throughout the summer for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Who likes sandwiches? Just about everyone, when they're made with Miracle Sandwich Spread. Miracle Sandwich Spread gives sandwiches a wonderfully different, delicious flavor. Created by Kraft, Miracle Sandwich Spread is made from America's favorite salad dressing, Miracle Whip, and spicy relishes. For quick, easy, thrifty sandwiches, use Miracle Sandwich Spread alone between slices of bread, or use it along with the meat or cheese sandwich filling you like best. Get it tomorrow. Miracle Sandwich Spread.
Tonight, hear the best of Groucho Marx on NBC.